I'm Sabrina, the product lead of altHR. If you need some help on how to set up organizations on the admin dashboard, you're in the right place. I'm going to walk you through everything that you need to know to get started. So first things first is log into your altHR admin account. You'll be taken to a page. The first thing that we need to do is set up your company structure. So if you head to company profile, there'll be a button called structure. So if you click on that, what is your company structure? It refers to the number of levels your company has. So by default, altHR comes with 3 levels. Your top highest level is your division. Your level 2 is 1 level below it is your department, and then you have sections. Of course, you're able to rename them if they're called something different at your company. So if you just hit on edit, and then you can change the name of this. So department, for example, department 2, then it will change. But let me just switch back to department. If you have more than 3 levels, you are able to add more levels. So if you click add structure, you can add a subsection, for example, and this will be a level below section. So this is really important because it the organization charts, and when you're adding organizations, it will therefore limit you to only 4 levels. Therefore, once you get to a subsection, if you want to add a level below it, you have to come back to this page and add structure. You can also delete levels. So really this page can change according to your company's needs. So that is structure. So now you've got your structure set up. Let's head to setting up your organization. So if you head to people, there's a button called organizations. You click on that. So this is your organization chart essentially. What happens here is it shows you all the level 1, level 2, level 3 organizations that you've created in your company. You can expand here to see what's nested below. So if we were following the structure that I had set up earlier, this top level here is your division or level 1 organization. If we open up, everything in here that is under CMD is a department or a level 2 organization. So accounting, finance, business development, human resources, IT, product. If we open this up, as you can see, this is nested. Now we have customer success, digital marketing, sales under business development. And these are your, what do we call it? Section earlier. Section. So if I head back to company profile structure, if I delete this subsection, let me go back to organizations and then let me expand that again. As you can see, all of these have a plus button, right? This blue plus button. These don't have a plus button. It's because now we're already at the bottom of your structure and we don't have another level in your company structure to add on to. So that's why I mentioned earlier that it's really important to set up your company structure because you're limited to these number of levels in your organization chart. So going back to these plus buttons, what do they do is that they create a new organization under this current organization. So this is our company name. So if you press on this plus button, it will add a level 1 organization to your organization chart. If you click on this plus button here, so research and development, this is already a level 1 organization. But if you click on this, it will add a level 2 organization under research and development. So if I open this up again, if I click on CMD again, it will add a level 2. If I click on this plus button, it will add a level 2 organization in here. And it will be the same level as accounting and finance, business development, etc. If I click on these on level 2, then it will add a level 3 nested under human resources, for example. So it's really important where you click on these plus buttons because it will add a new organization under the organization that you click the plus button on. Yeah, let's Let's sink in a little bit. So then here we are on this level. So again, there's no level 4 anymore, so that's why there's no plus button on here for you to add below. So let's get back to adding, let's start with adding a level 1 organization. So let's say you have a new division in your company. Let's go with, actually there's no HR here. Let's add in human resources organization. So here you add your organization name. You can see the level. So this is a division, level 1. You can add the organization availability date. So let's set it to today, but you can set it to the future. You can set it in the past. It's really up to you. If you open, actually, I'll show advanced settings later. So here we go, and then organization manager. So you'll always have to create an organization manager or head of this organization when you create a new organization. So let's say head of, or let's go with CHRO, for example. So CHRO will be the head of the HR division. And position availability date, let's say today. You can also set it in the past if you'd like. And if you open this advanced settings, you can configure the position details for this organization manager. So let's go again, CHRO. Let's put that there. This contract type is permanent. Job group. So these are pulled from your job bands that you've created in company. If you need some help on how to set up your job bands and your job groups, please watch the video in altHR Academy. But for now, let's say this person is a management level. There's a job grade. So within the job band, there's a job group and a job grade. So you can select which one. So let's say general manager. She should be director. No. Okay, let's do director. You can choose time type, so whether full-time, part-time, full-time, shift, non-shift, shift or non-shift, it's non-shift. And location, so these are your offices. So where is this organization going to be based? And this position going to be based. So let's say HQ. And you can also add a job description. You can also attach any files that you would like as well. So then if you click on confirm, your organization has been created. So as you can see here, even though you didn't set an organization manager, you have just created an organization, it will inherit the manager from the position above, from the level above. So the CEO office is always the top level organization, and the head of the CEO office is the CEO, which in this case is Amirul. So once you've set your organization manager, this will change. But for the time being, since that position is empty, it inherits from the level above, essentially, or the manager that's higher ranking from the organization above. So why is this important and why does it do this? Is because, say you haven't filled the CHRO position just yet, you are able to still add members or employees into this organization, and the routing for the approval routing will therefore be routed to Amirul instead, temporarily. So let's have a look at the organization profile. So it tells you which is the parent. So CEO office is always the top level. Then you have your organization manager, your type, if you set a code, whether it's an internal or external organization. I'll explain that in a second later. When is it available? Where is it located? And some of this information here as well. So if you go into positions, so organization members will show you a full list of all the employees that you've added in. And then position shows that previous position that I showed you earlier, that we created earlier, so CHRO. So that is essentially a very quick way of setting up your organization. So again, here I mentioned earlier, inherited. So yeah, this is inherited from the head of the CEO office. Now, next up, let's go into creating a more advanced organization. So I breezed through earlier how to quickly set up an organization, but there's a lot more settings that you can configure to each organization. So let's now create another organization within human resources. So let's click on this button. Let's call it learning and development. Here, so now as you can see, now it's a level 2 organization, learning and development. And then you can set an availability date, let's say today. And then there is this advanced setting. So if you expand that, here you can see, you can set the parent group. So previously we had pressed the plus button that under human resources, and therefore by default, the parent is the human resources organization. You can set where this organization is located. So that means that by default, all the members that join this organization will be added to this location as well. So you can choose out of your offices that you've created. So let's choose HQ still. Cost center. So what is a cost center? Essentially, you can add a code, let's say L&D. And what this does is that every single employee that gets added into learning and development, their expenses will be tied to this cost center or this cost center code. So later when you generate your reports, there will be a column called cost center, which therefore allows you to evaluate how much each organization is spending or claiming. So that's essentially what this cost center does. There's also this section called organization status. So you can enable this to be an external agent. And what this means is, say for example, you have a vendor, or if you have a third party travel desk that manages your travel bookings, you're still able to add them into altHR. What this does by marking this organization as an external agent is that every single member that gets added into this organization will not be included in your headcount. They will also not be included in your reports. So cost center description here is, you can add learning and development. For example, you can add a description if you would like. And then we can do the same thing of adding a manager. So say head of L&D starts today, show advanced settings. We did this earlier, so let me just breeze through it and confirm. And now your organization has been created. Here you go. So now as you can see, your organization status, your status is now external. So now it's not considered an internal organization, but it is an organization for external vendors or external parties. And here you go, and you can now see cost center details L&D, and there's a description for learning and development as well. Last thing that I would like to touch on is regarding reporting structure, essentially. So if we go back to the organization chart, how it essentially works, very similar to your company as well as in this system, is that everyone that is within this organization, so actually let's go to one where there's some people inside. Let's do, I think, business development. I'll have it. So let me just check. Organization members, yes. So all of these people are employees, are part of the business development organization. Therefore, they all report to Nicholas Ng, who is essentially their line manager, because he is head of the department, right? So what happens next is if we go back to organizations, so Nicholas Ng is head of business development, and then therefore, as he is a level 2 organization, his direct manager or direct report essentially is Abdullah Hasni as the owner of the level 1 company on top of this level 2. So anything that Nicholas Ng submits will therefore have to be approved by Abdullah Hasni instead as well. So that is how that works. Abdullah Hasni then will report, as he is a level 1. The top level 1 organization is the CEO office. So anything Abdullah Hasni submits will therefore go to Amirul as head of the CEO office division. So that means there's only one person that doesn't have anyone to report to as the CEO, Amirul. So what you do need to do is set up approval routings for Amirul. So in leaves, expense and travel, there is a separate video in altHR Academy on how to do so. But since he is at the top of the company's organization, he will need someone to approve or reject his requests as well. So normally companies direct it to the CFO or someone in charge of finance to approve and reject the CEO's requests. But you can structure it however you like. But that is one thing to note in terms of the reporting structure in altHR. That's basically all that you need to know. If you have any more questions, please submit your questions to support@althr.my. And thank you very much for being altHR customer.